So the question is, how do you want to be represented? Cats walk in and hit the trigger, the door snaps shut. This swing set, a couple of basketball hoops, and a lot of empty land. The outside of the youth center looks the same, but the inside is clearly damaged. Until then, they're asking for O-negative and plasma donors. There's no better place to talk alternative energy than Newton, Iowa. Nurses make a huge difference in the lives of their patients. It's growing so fast. The center says it will go through 36,000 pounds of food in less than 3 weeks. Local business owners are feeling frustrated.
I came down and I was, what more do we have to go through here?
Their businesses managed to survive the flood, but today they've got no power, soot seeping under the doors, and a burning smell that's not exactly good for business.
Well, I was thinking, a fire, it's not going to be that bad. It'll smell like smoky, which is good for the barbecue business. And when it's not, it doesn't even smell like that. It smells terrible.
Alliant Energy is slowly restoring power. The biggest concern now is sprinkler damage done to the circuit breakers in the basement of the Armstrong building. This should most likely keep shops like the Coffee Emporium and Sub King closed through the weekend. Right now, portions of the Armstrong building do have power, and what the crews are trying to do is run that power from the Armstrong building into the BC building, which you can see is still dark. Janet Wilhelm says she just moved back downtown in November and thought back to the flood as she watched smoke cloud her building.
When I couldn't see the office, it was a little frightening. Again, thinking, we just went through the flood a year ago and now this.
But compared to June of 2008, the three owners agreed on one thing. It could have been much worse. Jillian Petrus, KCRG TV 9 News. Public intoxication, misuse of ID to buy alcohol, and possession of alcohol under the legal age. These are just 3 of the alcohol-related offenses held by 9 members of the UISG Senate. UISG advisor Bill Nelson says there is no law controlling drinking and behavior among senators. But after looking at their records, Nelson says there may be a problem.
Celebration just as our last meeting as a Senate.
One of the expectations of our senators that is unilateral and that will never change is that they're responsible members of the community. And violations of the law can call into question their credibility.
One UISG member with questionable credibility is Vice President J.D. Moran, who pled guilty to public intoxication on December 12, 2008. But Moran says he doesn't think the senator's drinking records are an issue.
I think that, it's kind of a college thing to do is to drink. I think we need to maybe promote safe drinking a little bit better, but I don't think that it sends the wrong message because I think a lot of students out there kind of have their own little drinking record.
But what about promoting drinking among senators? These pictures, found on the social networking site Facebook, show the senators drinking downtown during their campaign. UISG President Mike Curry says during the campaign his party needed to speak with as many students as possible, and Iowa City bars are a good place to maximize outreach. And when asked about the drinking records, Curry says only repeat offenders should be punished.
I think they need to show probably some type of behavior, maybe not just one incident, but a behavior of constantly getting into trouble.
But there are repeat offenders on the Senate, like Ryan Osby, Julia Meyer, Cassandra Creasy, and Joseph Diaz, who just pled guilty to public intox in January. And it's not just alcohol offenses. Creasy's 4th-degree theft, Diaz allegedly lying to police, and Nunez 3rd-degree burglary charge. UISG may or may not decide to monitor the behavior of its newly elected Senate, but these are its members. So the question is, how do you want to be represented? Jillian Petrus, Daily Iowan TV. We got one! Thousands of feral cats are invading flood-damaged neighborhoods in Cedar Rapids. The stray cats are hiding under porches, living in abandoned homes, and having lots and lots of babies.
They reproduce very quickly. A mom cat can have 3 litters in a summer now, and the kittens that are born in the spring can have their own kittens in the fall.
The Iowa Humane Alliance says there are about 20,000 stray cats in Cedar Rapids, which is why the group is trying to catch, spay, and vaccinate these feral felines before the cat population grows any larger. The traps are designed to catch the cats safely. A little bit of food is placed in the back, and then when the cats walk in and hit the trigger, the door snaps shut. But Blount says it's not as easy as it sounds. Her group hoped to catch 30 strays this weekend, but so far, the volunteers have only captured about 15.
We can only catch as many as we have vet openings for, and that's our limiting factor.
Another problem is the city has plans to buy out and demolish most of the flood-damaged houses these cats call home.
It's scary to think about some of the kittens that maybe won't be able to make it out of the house when they come to, to do the demo on them.
The volunteers will keep working to catch these stray cats in hopes of getting as many as possible into a permanent home. In Cedar Rapids, Jillian Petrus, KCRG TV9 News. In the end, jurors agreed Mark Becker knew what he was doing when he gunned down Applington-Parkersburg football coach Ed Thomas last June. And Cynthia is an international graduate student from China. And Cynthia, you took a look at a building on the UI campus that many people know. Cedar Rapids is rushing to figure out what to do with the flooded-out former library building. No contact order that keeps her from contacting Sean or anyone related to him. And this week, Rachel, you've brought us a person that's a little bit different than some of our past spotlights. And now let's head over to Joe Winters with your local 9.2 KCRG forecast.